From the historic desk, the duck that exploded. How a Tang Dynasty chef's quest for umami accidentally blew up an empire. The Tang Dynasty, for all its perfumed poetry and silken fuckery, was an empire obsessed with its stomach. Every imperial edict, every military campaign, every decision to flay a provincial governor for tax fraud, it all came back to the quality of the emperor's breakfast congee. And in the magnificent kitchens of Emperor Xuanzong, sometime around 750 AD, a chef named Guo Wang was about to fuck up a fermented soybean paste on a scale previously unknown to God or man. See, Guo wasn't just a chef, he was an artist, a philosopher of the wok. He was chasing a flavor profile so profound it would make the Buddha himself renounce vegetarianism. His secret ingredient list for a new, earth-shattering doubanjiang was ambitious. Alongside the usual soybeans and chilies, his notes, later discovered in the singed ruins of his pantry and compiled in the apocryphal Treatise on Catastrophic Condiments, called for a pinch of sulfur for that brimstone tang and a heavy dose of saltpeter for a preservative kick that bites back. He sealed his concoction in a clay pot and, in a moment of either genius or pants-on-head stupidity, left it to ferment by the roaring heat of the duck ovens. The resulting boom blew 3 generations of Peking duck right off their hooks and sent a sous chef into the rafters, where he hung by his own apron strings, gibbering about vengeful ancestors. Now, a lesser emperor would have had Chef Guo's balls chopped off and served as a garnish. But Xuanzong, bless his easily distracted heart, was bored. His favorite concubine, the famously well-upholstered Yang Guifei, was getting tired of the usual courtly rigmarole of zither players and eunuch choirs. An explosion? A kitchen that smelled like hell's asshole? Now that's entertainment. Guo wasn't executed, he was promoted. His new job was to make dinner go bang. Suddenly, imperial banquets were less about gastronomy and more about surviving the goddamn soup course. A whole roasted pig would be brought to the table, and with a fizz and a flash, it would shower the terrified mandarins in glistening, dangerously hot pork belly. Yang Guifei, they say, had never been hornier. The constant threat of being maimed by an exploding fish head was, apparently, the most powerful aphrodisiac the 8th century had ever seen. The military applications were, shall we say, an afterthought. When the traitorous general An Lushan marched his rebel army towards the capital, the Imperial Guard's first line of defense was to catapult gunpowder-stuffed chickens over the walls. The rebels were confused, briefly well-fed, and almost entirely unharmed. The dynasty crumbled anyway, just as it was meant to, but it did so under a fine dusting of what smelled suspiciously like 5-spice powder and regret. It just goes to show, never trust a chef who promises you the moon. He's liable to blow it up right in your face. Filed by Auguste Cordon Bleu, Pampeloni, for Historic. And that concludes today's broadcast. If this dispatch has left you itching to rewrite history yourself, visit historic.com. The editors are standing by, the ink is still wet, and the phonograph horn has been known to favor a newcomer.